Let the cat out of the bag. Recess Talk, Episode 2, Time Management and Realistic Goals.
Welcome to this deep dive. Many of us, especially parents, we wrestle with this, don't we? How do you ensure academic progress for your primary schooler without, sacrificing their childhood? Especially with those packed after-school schedules. Today, we're trying to crack the code on managing study time for primary school subjects. We need to factor in those after-school commitments, but also, crucially, rest.
Absolutely. And our mission here really is to give you a flexible framework. It's definitely not a rigid rule book because, let's face it, realistic time allocation, it really depends heavily on individual strengths, weaknesses, even the daily homework load.
Right.
So we're pulling some clear, actionable insights directly from 1-2 tuition educators. The goal is to help you become, truly well-informed on this vital topic.
Okay, let's unpack this then, this blueprint for success. Where do we even begin when trying to map out a primary schooler's day?
Well, we begin with what our sources are calling the free day blueprint. So just picture a typical day, no extra tuition, no competitive sports training. School usually finishes around, say, 2 p.m. Then after travel, changing, grabbing a quick lunch, there's this really crucial 1-hour nap period, maybe 3 p.m. to 4 p.m.
A nap, interesting.
Yes, and our sources, they really emphasize this. It isn't just downtime. They actually describe it as excellent for mental refresh. They even cite some research suggesting that kids who get this midday rest, they show significant improvement in memory consolidation.
Wow.
And importantly, less cognitive fatigue later when they study. It's powerful, often overlooked, actually.
That nap sounds like a non-negotiable then. So after that vital hour of reset, how much dedicated study time does that leave us, and how do we best allocate it?
Right, so that sets you up with roughly 3.5 hours for dedicated study in the afternoon and evening.
3.5 hours, okay.
Yeah, and here's what it gets really interesting, thinking about a balanced allocation. Our sources suggest something like English, maybe 45 minutes, mathematics, perhaps 50 minutes an hour, mother tongue, or whatever your native or second language might be, another 45 minutes. And science, maybe 30 minutes.
Okay, that adds up.
And importantly, it leaves this valuable 30-minute sort of buffer or review time. Now, this allocation, it assumes things are relatively balanced difficulty-wise. Maths often needs longer, uninterrupted time for problem solving.
Right, that makes sense.
While science, especially at primary level, might be better with shorter, focused bursts, reviewing concepts, applying them.
Okay, so that framework gives a clear starting point. But I imagine what really makes this work is adaptability, right? What happens when, reality hits? A student's really struggling in one area or they just have a mountain of homework.
Exactly, and that's the key. This isn't set in stone at all. The framework is designed to be flexible. So if a student is finding maths really tough, that's 60 minutes. Well, it might need to become 90.
90 minutes, okay.
Yeah, you'd maybe pull that extra time from science or from that buffer period. And look, the first priority for any subject's allocated time is always school homework. That comes first.
Always the homework.
What's fascinating here is how the framework just shifts. If there's urgent math homework that day, well, those 90 minutes are the math homework time. Simple as that.
So what does this all mean for those really busy schedules, the days with tuition or sports training? How does this blueprint adjust then?
Yeah, good question. On those days, the available free study time, it's obviously going to be much less, sometimes just an hour, maybe 2.
Right.
So on those days, the focus shifts completely. It becomes about getting urgent homework done, and this is critical, immediately reviewing the concepts taught in tuition that day.
Immediately after. Why is that so important?
Well, it's not just good practice. It actually leverages a learning principle called spaced repetition. Revisiting information shortly after you first learn it, it dramatically strengthens those neural pathways.
Oh, okay.
Which means better long-term retention, not just cramming for the short term. So yeah, these days are really about maintenance and consolidation, not deep dives into all 4 subjects.
That brings us to a really crucial point about the quality of study time, doesn't it? Not just the quantity. It raises an important question. Beyond just logging the hours, how can you make those study hours truly effective? Whether it's a free day or one of those maintenance days.
You're absolutely right. It's not just about the hours, but how they're spent. I mean, take something as small as penmanship practice.
Penmanship, okay.
Yeah, it benefits from consistent, short bursts. You could integrate maybe 5 or 10 minutes at the start or end of a study session, just consistently building that muscle memory.
Yeah.
But the real key is active revision, instead of just passively, doing homework.
Right, just going through the motions.
Exactly. You should encourage re-attempting questions you got wrong. And not just to get the right answer, but to really figure out why the mistake happened.
Dissecting the error.
Precisely. Was it a calculation slip? A misunderstanding of the concept? Did they misread the question? That analysis is gold.
And what other active revision techniques really help maximize that limited study time?
Well, for something like science, instead of just rereading notes, maybe try creating a mind map or some flashcards from memory first. Then check against the notes for accuracy.
Okay, testing yourself.
Yes. Or, for any subject, review the concepts related to mistakes you made. Create short summary notes for tricky topics. This process, it's often called active recall. It forces your brain to retrieve the information, which really strengthens the memory.
Makes sense.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this kind of active revision, it makes study time genuinely much more effective. And maybe surprisingly, it ultimately allows you more time to play because you're working smarter, not just longer.
So it seems pretty clear then that good habit for revision is really what makes the study time count. It's about how those precious hours are spent. And that flexibility, adapting to the child's needs and the day's schedule, that's absolutely paramount, isn't it?
It really is. Remember, knowledge is most valuable when it's truly understood and can be applied, not just memorized for a test. So, thinking about all this, what stands out to you? How could this structured but still really adaptable approach transform your learning journey, or maybe someone else's you know?
Lots to think about there. Keep diving deep into what makes you well-informed.
Thank you for listening.